Alright, so basically I researched the QAnon's like non-official cover Tea Party shit. They attempt to bitch move off of everything. And so you can pretty much like figure out who they are because, you know, if you like shove, if you're like outside of their little fucking stupid fucking world, if you like shove smart intelligence explanation kind of stuff, if you shove that, then they group together in their weird swinger like voyeur site, and then they bitch move, and then they act dumb on purpose, as if it's some sort of like, see, they have like this dumb Republican world that does that in intelligence ways. And so one of the things that they like were basically groomed, they got groomed by this method by doing it all the time. They essentially, they like, if some outsider does like a smart intelligence, then as a group, they'll all bitch move and have dumb intelligence that they'll attempt to overwhelmingly, like, as a group think, be trying to influence. Basically. And that one of the things that outs those people as being probably people that are doing online Russian intelligence contracts is that in intelligence, at least with Democrats, the only thing that they put in there, or the only thing that they view as intelligence, is anything smart. And it's a time-tested way that comes from the Cold War. It's still a policy that is adhered to in people that are not stupid fucking pedo bangers. Okay? See, stupid fucking pedo bangers basically get their pedo bang covered up by Russia. Basically, that's why John Huntsman was over there. That's the real reason. Along with his bitch brainness of being the protector of intellectual property while also being the ambassador of the people that rip off most intellectual property and build counterfeit. See, that's the kind of shit. That's the kind of shit that those people that are doing the Russian style intelligence in a KGB way, that's the kind of shit that they do that. They like to be at the forefront of something, and then they like to then they end up being the actual problem. And so more than likely behind the scenes, he was probably instituting some sort of intellectual property ripoff portal for Russia, while having the credentials of being the protector of intellectual property. Okay, that's the clandestine shit. That's what these Mormons, I've been researching the fuck out of them. They're so fucking obsessed with that weird Cold War clandestine shit. They do it everywhere around here, in this city, everywhere. Everything they do, they'll be the psycho hunters. And then, behind the scenes, they'll be the most sociopathic people in this city. They'll be the pedophile hunters. And then, in this city, they'll be the most ragingly blatant on dark web pedophiles in this city. And so, just like Huntsman with his intellectual property shit that attempts to protect intellectual property of the West or something, he'll be the one that has teams that probably are orchestrating corporate ripoffs and espionage in a corporate way and intellectual ripoffs everywhere. With this little team and little fleas, little corporate fleas and shit. which is what they call them in Mormonism. And so the whole idea is that government Mormons are essentially trained at being KGB double agents, basically, and that's exactly the methodologies of a KGB style double agent. And that most of the time they operate off of like a around the Berlin Wall and Ronnie Reagan. Yeah, and that's what they use as their cover for people talking about. They'd be like, well, that's impossible. A person that was in the KGB that's now the head of Russia would never use the same intelligence methodologies as what he was trained as. Ever. That would be impossible. And you see that their detachment from common sense is what really helps them. Somebody like me, they even took it as far as to build a mockery to anybody about it, where they purposefully call it Mormon royal sense, where those people are all trained in illogical ways as a KGB style training, which is an illogical training, and that they turn it into trying to make people psychologically break down from not adhering to logical smartness. And that you might notice that the stupid fucking Republicans and the Tea Party and shit, they do the same thing. The whole idea is that those people blackmail on dark webs that are controlled by Russian intelligence. And that from that, when they get the blackmail protection, then they have to train as KGB double agents. It is literally the boilerplate methodology of what Russian intelligence does to Americans and to the West. And so years and years of their paranoia and group thinks and glossed over, like, you know, imagery that tries to push away from the reality of what they're actually, like, doing. They attempt to build an image. It's just like these Mormons. They're just a rich man satanic cult. That's all they are. But then they like to place themselves as like helpers of all the churches and shit. And then eventually those churches have a lot of their members end up going out to a camp and blackmailing with Mormons in a satanic way. And you see that why I document this research is because pretty much their ability to keep this stuff with people not understanding what that kind of shit is, their ability to do that has been so extensive that that's why I'm just blatantly talking about it. See, they're blackmailed. They can't talk about it. They are the people that won't talk about it. When they say that you have to go through these certain motions to be even talking about the fucking Satanism and shit like that. Those people, high probability of KGB style trainings and Russian intelligence double agents in a lesser or more way that are blackmailed on a dark web that's controlled by Russian intelligence. And that the contracts that they'll be doing will be not beneficial to the United States. And that the things that they'll be doing will be beneficial to Russian intelligence. It'll be meant to break down the superiority of America's intelligence. And it'll be meant to be essentially getting the political leaders to be walking down a road of following their logic path on anything. See, one of the issues with somebody like me is that my extreme adherence to logic and rationality gets in the way because I can logically talk, and that's pretty much where those people that do that shit, when you start highlighting their logic detachments and when they attempt to project themselves as logical and rational people, when you highlight their detachments from logic, if they don't correct themselves, that ends up being. It's kind of like where they sit around acting like somebody would be part of QAnon that fucking hates those fucking people more than anything. And then they try and build some dumb fucking logic about, look at how he knows all of these stuff about this stuff. He obviously has inserted that somebody inserted into the Democratic Party that isn't actually a Democrat. And it's like, hey, Republicans, what's your opinion? And you see that their logic, because they say that shit. And that pretty much, I'm not on the ropes of anything. I inserted myself into your guys' stupid alt-right world, and then I bitch-brained all of you. And then I extrapolated what you guys were doing, and now I'm making intelligence, like, depositions, basically, on what you people do. And what's your guys' response? He's a Prada boy that does a cookie, that is inserted in the and that is what you people basically are saying. And you see that you people probably have some sort of like person with a tie on or some official pedoey perfect talking about it or something. And then in the end, I basically just explained what you guys are trying to get people to believe about me. I fucking hate you, Mormon. And I fucking hate you fucking dumb Tea Party members. And I fucking hate you fucking QAnon fucking freaks. And I fucking hate you fucking pedo bang Cayman fucking pedo bangers. And who did I bitch bring? Why do you guys even comment about what I'm doing? Hey, bitch brains. Who am I talking about?